Welcome to Weddings Unveiled, the podcast designed to help you build a productive, profitable wedding or event business. Here's your host, Angela Profit.
Hi y'all, it's Angela Profit, your event and productivity therapist, coming to you from the heart of Music City in Nashville, Tennessee. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Weddings Unveiled, professional tips and secrets on wedding planning and event design, where we take you behind the scenes of our past experiences in the event industry, what we have learned from them, and how they have made us stronger. This podcast will help you grow a productive and profitable business to launch you into success within the hospitality industry. Today, I'm joined by the best communications and event consultant in the business, Allison Burry.
Hey everyone, thanks so much for having me, Angela. I'm excited to share some of our past experiences together. We've definitely been through some unique situations over the years. What are we talking about today?
Today, we're talking about family weddings and when someone in your family is getting married and how to stay professional.
Well, tell us the story about this one. What happened?
Well, basically, I'll start off by saying that there's nothing better than able to give the gift of something that you do professionally for other people, hundreds of people every year. And so when someone in my family was getting married, of course, I would want to do what I do best in my professional career for my family member. But I will not lie, and I will say sometimes it's really hard to keep your mouth shut and do it their way and not the way that you know would look the best. And so you never know. Depending on the personality of your family member and depending on the person they're marrying and what they're like, you really don't want to cause any drama or walk that fine line of hurting anyone's feelings, because you can pick who your friends are and you can pick who your clients are, but you can't really pick who your family is going to be. And at the end of the day, all you have left is your family. And so I will tell you that through the planning process, it was super easy. They were very direct on what they wanted. They knew what they wanted. They did not have an unlimited budget like some of our clients graciously do. So I was trying to help them and educate them on the best way to save money. We do have other family members that are in this industry who do floral design. They don't live in Nashville, but they live on the Gulf Coast. And so several professional members of our family, again, who work in this industry, pitched in to really help this family member out. A couple funny stories from that is I didn't really tell any of my vendors, my business. I didn't tell them it was a family member. I treated it just like any other wedding, sent them the timeline and the floor plan. And, typically the rental company, they come in first. And we had some of the other family members that were also delivering alcohol and some other things that to the venue where we were setting up. And my dad actually pulled up with a bunch of the alcohol, and he came inside to the venue, and he's not underspoken at all. And he basically yelled and was like, "Who's driving this huge rental truck?" And the guy came over and said, "I am." And my dad's like, "Well, can you move it? Because I need to back up here." And the guy's like, "Well, let me ask the planner in charge because she's very specific about how we do things." And my dad laughed at him and said, "Yeah, I know she is. She's my daughter." And so a lot of the vendors were kind of shocked the way that they heard me talking to some of the people, because I was probably a tad bit more bossy, because not only did I partake in the wedding, I was a bridesmaid in the wedding, and so I had to do pictures. There was just a lot going on. So of course I was in a hurry. I didn't mean to be bossy. I was just trying to get things done. And so the point of that story is you never know who you're talking to. So be sure that you're always being positive and putting out a great reputation so that people aren't bad-mouthing you behind your back. And then one of the other, terrible things, their favorite restaurant was this Mexican restaurant. And it is an awesome restaurant. They have great food, great service. But when you do off-site catering, it's just totally different. It is not the same thing as servicing an off-site event, especially a wedding. And so I tried to talk to the owner and make sure that they were completely ready and set up to do off-site catering because my family member was so adamant about using this caterer. And in my head, and I think in Allison's head too, we kind of knew that it was probably going to be a disaster because we've dealt with this kind of thing before where vendors really don't know what they're doing. And so, I don't know, what was your take on it, Allison, with the caterer?
Well, that was definitely an interesting experience. It was the little Mexican restaurant, and they were super sweet, and all of the employees were very kind, but not only did they not really know what they were doing, but only one of them spoke minimal English, not even like fluent English. And so it was very difficult for me to kind of explain to them what all needed to be done. And I was trying to show them how we needed water in all of the cups on the tables before guests arrive. And we needed, when it came to the cake cutting, I ended up cutting the cake because none of them understood how to do it. And I knew that in the end, it probably just would have been kind of butchered anyway, because cutting a wedding cake is very different than cutting a birthday cake. And so it was just a very unique experience. I felt like I was playing charades a lot of the time because I was just kind of having to show, like with my arms, what needed to be done. But in the end, we got it all taken care of. They did leave early that we didn't expect them to, and I ended up busting all of the tables, which was kind of gross. But it makes me appreciate our normal caterers all that much more. And so we had a good time, and everybody enjoyed it, and everybody still talks about how much fun they had at the wedding. But behind the scenes, it was a little bit of a mess, but it was fine, and we expected it, and we were prepared for it, so it wasn't a big deal. But Angela, what was your biggest takeaway from all of that?
Well, again, I would say you can't really pick your family, but you can pick your clients. And so with your family, if someone's getting married and you're going to help them and do it as a gift, or even, for labor, the family member did pay for the labor because they understand that I had to pay for help. But it's hard to keep your mouth shut, but sometimes it's best just for future relationships to be professional and go with the flow. And as long as it's not hurting anything or anybody, do it the way they want to do it.
Definitely. Well, Angela, can you share with our listeners some of the products and resources that are available to help wedding and event planners?
Absolutely. You can visit our blog on our website at angelaprofit.com. We always have great articles and resources available there. You can also sign up for email updates for tips and resources that only get delivered to our email clients that sign up for our list. And we also do free webinars, and we have a couple live events coming up next year, so stay tuned for more information on those.
Awesome. Well, Angela, thank you for sharing all of your valuable advice with us today. I can't wait for next week to tell more of our incredible experiences together.
Thank you for joining me, Allison, and thank you to our listeners for joining us today on Weddings Unveiled, professional tips and secrets on wedding planning and event design. Tune in next week to learn more from our past experiences. If you found this podcast helpful, please share it with other wedding and event professionals. Be sure to subscribe today so you never miss the juicy details of Weddings Unveiled. I'm so passionate about helping other event professionals, and with my background in psychology, I appreciate that our best selves develop from real-life situations like we're sharing with you on our blog and our podcast. So thank you so much for listening. Be sure to tune in next week for more great tips to grow your business. And if you have a question or an unresolved issue that you would like guidance on, connect with us at angelaprofit.com. Until next time, remember to stay productive and profitable.
Welcome to Weddings Unveiled, the podcast designed to help you build a productive, profitable wedding or event business. Here's your host, Angela Profit.